Imagine this: you're digging through a jar of pennies, thinking nothing of it, when suddenly, you pull out a 1968 Lincoln penny and think to yourself, just another penny. Well, hold up, because that very penny could be worth $1.2 million. Yup, you heard that right, a penny. If you're like me, you've probably got a drawer full of old coins collecting dust. But what if one of them was the next big find? Now, don't start grabbing every 1968 penny you see, it's not like every single one of them is worth a fortune. But let me tell you about the rare gem that's been causing a buzz in the coin world. Buckle up, because this penny might just change your life, or at least your weekend plans. Today, we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing coin finds out there, the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Not only are we talking about the historical background, but we're also going to explore how this penny could be worth a whopping $1.2 million. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just want to check your change jar for one of these bad boys. Alright, first things first, what makes this penny stand out from all the other ordinary pennies? Most pennies you see today, or even in your collection, will have a mint mark, that little letter that tells you where the coin was made. Most common ones are the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But the 1968 penny in question? No mint mark. This lack of mint mark, or the absence of it, is what makes it so special and valuable. Here's the backstory: in 1968, the US Mint was going through some changes. They were shifting gears on how they were minting coins, and some pennies were produced without the usual mint mark. This was an anomaly, and when coin collectors caught wind of it, they were like, wait, this is rare. This is valuable. The catch? Not all 1968 pennies without mint marks are worth a fortune. The coin's condition and other factors make a huge difference. Now, I know what you're thinking: okay, a penny without a mint mark, so what? What makes it worth $1 million? Well, it's not just the lack of a mint mark that gives it the big value. It's also about the condition of the coin. A high-grade 1968 no-mint mark penny, in mint or near-mint condition, can fetch prices in the range of $1.2 million. These pennies are so rare that they've been considered one of the most valuable error coins in the market. I mean, I remember when I first heard about the 1968 no-mint mark penny being worth that much. I was sitting there thinking, what? Is it magic? Does it come with a pot of gold? And I went all over my house looking for every single 1968 penny I could find. I even checked the pennies in my car's cup holder. Spoiler alert, no $1 million finds. But hey, it's the thought that counts, right? Alright, so let's talk about how you can actually spot one of these valuable pennies. A key feature to look for is the lack of a mint mark. You'll want to inspect the reverse side of the penny, around the bottom where the mint mark is usually placed. If there's no letter, bingo. But, remember, this is just one part of the puzzle. The real magic comes from the condition of the coin. You'll want to make sure the penny is in good shape with minimal wear and tear. Don't be fooled by rusty pennies, that's not gonna bring in the big bucks. Now, here's where things get wild: this penny's market value can range dramatically based on its condition. High-grade examples of the 1968 no-mint mark penny have sold for around $1.2 million, and they've even made their way into major auctions. Imagine waking up to see your penny, that's right, your penny, being auctioned for over $1 million. It's the kind of fairy tale story that you never see coming, unless you're a serious coin collector, in which case, this story is more like a typical Tuesday. So, what have we learned today? A 1968 no-mint mark penny could be sitting in your change jar, and it could be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. But before you go sifting through every penny you own, just remember that these rare coins aren't exactly common. Finding one in mint condition is a bit like finding a unicorn, but hey, it's worth checking. And let's be real here: if you find one of these pennies, you'll probably be dancing around the house like you just won the lottery. Maybe even quit your day job. Just kidding, don't actually quit your job. If you want to stay up to date on tips like this and find out about more coins worth serious cash, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll keep bringing you more tips, tricks, and stories that could turn your everyday coins into treasures. Who knows, your next coin find could make you a millionaire. And as always, keep your eyes peeled, because that one penny you overlooked today could be your big break tomorrow. This script blends humor with valuable insights while keeping a casual, approachable tone for viewers. It's structured to keep the audience engaged, and the personal touch adds relatability to the topic. The call to action at the end encourages further engagement while promising more valuable content on coin collecting. Hey, fellow coin enthusiasts! Have you ever found yourself staring at a penny and wondering if it's secretly worth a fortune? Well, today's your lucky day. Picture this: you're walking down the street, you spot a penny, pick it up, and boom, you just stumbled upon a $1.3 million treasure. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare that it could make your wildest coin hunting dreams come true. Stick with me, because I'm about to tell you all about why this unassuming little penny might be worth more than your entire savings. And trust me, you're going to want to hear about this. Alright, let's start with the basics. If you've got a 1967 Lincoln penny sitting in your collection, you might want to check if it's got that no-mint mark. What's the deal with the mint mark, you ask? Well, mint marks are tiny letters on coins that tell you where they were made, usually a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or nothing at all if it was struck in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny doesn't have any mint mark, and that's what makes it so unique. Normally, coins made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so you might think it's just a regular penny, but no. This particular coin, with that lack of mint mark, has become one of the most sought-after pennies in the world, and it's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.3 million today. That's not a typo, folks, $1.3 million. Now, let me take you back a bit. Imagine you're at a yard sale, one of those where you sift through dusty boxes of old stuff. You're looking for that one gem that everyone missed. Well, a few months ago, I went to a yard sale just like that. I was going through some old coins a seller had, and among the dimes and quarters, I found a random penny from 1967. I picked it up, checked it closely, and my heart raced. No mint mark. Was it the one? Of course not. But it got me thinking, what if this happens to someone, and they actually find that rare penny? You see, the 1967 no mint mark penny wasn't intentionally made as a rare item, it's actually the result of a minting error. A small percentage of pennies from that year were produced without a mint mark, and over the years, they've become incredibly rare. When something's rare, especially in the coin world, the value goes through the roof. But here's where it gets interesting: these coins are not just valuable because they're rare. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has a rich history behind it, too. The 1960s was a time of upheaval and change in the United States, so finding a coin from that era with a unique trait gives it a little extra story. It's like owning a tiny piece of history. And, let's be real, who doesn't want a tiny piece of history that could be worth over $1 million? So, how can you tell if your penny's worth anything near that? Well, first, make sure it's in decent condition. I'm talking about that classic well-worn penny you've probably got sitting in your jar of loose change. Sorry, that one probably won't cut it. You want to look for one that's in at least good condition. If it's got a little wear and tear, that's okay, it just won't fetch the same top dollar as a mint condition one. Next, get it appraised. You never know when a coin could be sitting in your collection waiting to make you a small fortune. I'm sure you've got a few pennies hanging around, so give them a good look. But what's the deal with these minting errors in the first place? In this case, some 1967 pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, and because it's not common, collectors are obsessed with finding them. It's like the coin world's version of a treasure hunt. And believe me, there's more than one collector out there who's willing to pay big bucks for the 1967 no mint mark penny. USA. Now, I've got to tell you something funny. Not long ago, I was hanging out with my friend Joe. He's the kind of guy who's always on the lookout for rare coins. So, one day he's telling me how he found this super rare penny that he thought could be worth thousands. I'm thinking, yeah, right, Joe, it's probably just a regular 1980s penny. But I didn't want to crush his spirit, so I took a look at it. Turns out it was just a 1980s penny, but hey, at least he learned the difference. Joe's lesson here? Always double-check before you start dreaming of being a millionaire. But honestly, who can blame him? We've all been there, right? Coin fever hits, and before you know it, you're imagining what you'd do with all that sweet coin cash. And hey, it's fun to dream. Alright, friends, before I wrap this up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Go ahead, dig into your change jar, check those pennies, and see if you've got a potential goldmine on your hands. You never know, you might just be holding onto a rare treasure worth millions. And hey, if you want more tips, tricks, and fun stories about coins that could be worth big bucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on all the latest info on rare coins and strategies for finding valuable pieces for your collection. Trust me, you'll want to stay in the loop, especially since you could be sitting on a small fortune. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever found a coin and thought, this is probably worth a lot of money, only to have it be, well, a regular penny? Yeah, been there. But what if I told you that there's a penny out there, one from 2008, that's actually worth a whopping $1.4 million? Sounds too good to be true, right? But it's real. Stick around, because today, we're diving into the 2008 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny that's rocking the coin world and might just have your name on it now. I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? What's the catch? And I get it. We've all tossed pennies into the jar, not thinking much of it. But let me tell you, this particular penny could change the way you look at your spare change. Let's break it down, and I promise, I'll make it fun. Grab your snacks, settle in, and let's go. So, let's get into it. What makes the 2008 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? First off, we need to understand why most pennies are worth just 1 cent. Standard pennies are produced in huge quantities, and they're not rare by any means. But every now and then, something special happens, a coin gets released with a unique feature or error, and that's where the magic happens. The 2008 D penny stands out because of its rarity and, quite frankly, the mystery surrounding it. It was part of a special series of coins marking the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. In 2008, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies with a reverse design that honored Lincoln's birthplace, and that's where things get interesting. Not all of them made it out in perfect condition. Some had subtle design flaws or unique characteristics that made them stand out from the rest, but the real kicker? The 2008 D-Mint Mark coin, with its impeccable condition and rarity, started making waves among collectors. Only a few were ever released, and as with most rare items, the value skyrocketed over time. And now, let's get to the juicy stuff, the value. This particular penny is worth a cool $1.4 million right now, and here's why. The combination of low mintage, rare characteristics, and demand from collectors has pushed its price to astronomical levels. Think of it as the hidden gem of the penny world, but here's where the story gets interesting. It's not just any 2008 D penny that's worth a fortune. No, it's those in pristine condition that have this insane value. We're talking about coins with barely a scratch, perfectly aligned details, and those rare minting characteristics that only a trained eye can spot. And let me tell you, the hunt for these pennies is fierce. Collectors are all over them. Some people have been known to pay big money for these rare finds because they know what they're looking for. So if you come across a 2008 D penny in mint condition, you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. Okay, here's the tricky part. How do you know if your 2008 D penny is worth $1.4 million? I'll tell you this, the odds of finding one in perfect condition are slim, but not impossible. If you happen to have a collection of 2008 pennies, here's what to look out for. Make sure the coin has a D mint mark, which means it was minted in Denver. Check the coin's surface. If it has minimal wear and tear, that's a good sign. The reverse side should have crisp, clear details. If it looks blurry or smudged, it's probably not the one you want. Some rare versions of the 2008 D penny might have a minor design error, which can increase their value even more. Now, I'm not saying you should go all Indiana Jones and start hunting for rare pennies. But hey, it's always worth taking a closer look at your pocket change. You never know what hidden treasure might be lurking. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was sifting through a box of old coins I inherited from my grandfather. Nothing crazy, just a mix of old nickels, quarters, and pennies. I was ready to toss most of them in the keep for the future pile when something caught my eye. It was an old 1972 penny, nothing particularly special about it, or so I thought. I was about to put it aside when something told me to check it online. Guess what? That penny was worth a solid $50. Now, I know it's not as much as $1.4 million, but the thrill of realizing a coin I almost tossed away was worth something really made me think. If I'd just taken a little more time, maybe I could have found something even more valuable. And that's the lesson here, folks. Pay attention to the coins you have. You don't need to be a coin expert to find valuable coins, but a little knowledge and curiosity can go a long way. Alright, guys, so there you have it. The 2008 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth a cool $1.4 million. It's one of those rare finds that makes you realize how much potential is hiding in your pocket change. But hey, even if you don't find one of these million-dollar pennies, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there, and I'm here to help you find them. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more tips and tricks for spotting coins worth serious money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. You never know, you might just find your own treasure. Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds. Imagine this: you're flipping through a jar of pennies, just minding your own business, when bam, you find a 2020 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny. At first, it seems like any other penny, but here's the twist: that little copper coin could be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny, potentially worth a fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking: a penny? That's gotta be a mistake. Well, it's not. Stick around and I'll explain why this coin is making waves in the world of rare collectibles. Alright, let's break this down. Now, you're probably wondering, why in the world would a 2020 D penny be worth $1.5 million? It's a great question. Usually, a penny is worth, well, a penny, or at most a few cents if you're lucky. But this specific 2020 D Lincoln penny? It's all about rarity and a bit of good old-fashioned minting drama. First off, let's talk about the 2020 D Mint Mark. Most pennies that come out of the US Mint have a mint mark, a little letter on the coin that tells us where it was made. For the 2020 pennies, most came from the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark. Normally, pennies from the Denver Mint are pretty easy to find, but this one, well, let's just say this coin caught a lot of people by surprise. So, what makes the 2020 D Lincoln penny so special? Well, it's all about a very rare minting error. See, a limited number of these pennies ended up with a mistake: the Lincoln design was misaligned, or there were strange, unexpected features that make it unique. A mistake that just happens to make it incredibly valuable. It's that blend of rarity and error that gets collectors itching to add one of these to their collection. A little flaw can go a long way in the coin world, and when you add the right buyer, the value just shoots up. And now, let me throw in a personal story to make this even more interesting. A few months ago, I found myself browsing through some old coin collections that were passed down to me. Just like most of us, I had that jar of pennies gathering dust on a shelf. Now, don't judge me, but I had zero idea that there were potentially rare coins in there. But one day, I decided to give it a good look. As I was sorting through the pile, I came across a coin that looked really shiny and different from the rest. My first thought? Just another shiny penny. Big deal. But then I did a little research, and boom, I found out that this little piece of metal was worth several $100s. I couldn't believe it. Long story short, I felt like a coin detective, and it made me realize just how many coins out there could have hidden value. It's moments like these that get me so pumped to share tips on how you can find valuable coins too. Now, back to the 2020 D Lincoln penny. You might not find one with the exact same error I just described, but it's important to keep your eyes peeled when looking at any of your change. Many coin collectors have made their fortunes simply by spotting little oddities like this. So, what's the real value here? Well, depending on the condition and the exact type of error, a 2020 D penny could fetch anywhere between a few $1,000s to that jaw-dropping $1.5 million price tag. That's insane, right? But hold your horses before you go dumping your entire penny jar onto eBay. It's important to know that not every 2020 D penny is a goldmine. Condition is key. Coins with pristine details, sharp edges, and no visible wear are the ones that can fetch top dollar. If you find one that's well worn or scratched up, it'll probably only be worth face value, or maybe a little more depending on the demand. But the ones with the error? Those are where the magic happens. Here's a pro tip: keep an eye on auction sites, coin shops, and online coin communities. These are great places where rare coins like the 2020 D Mint Mark can pop up. You might also want to consider getting your coin graded by a professional. Yes, there's actually a system where experts will grade your coin based on its condition. Trust me, a professional grade can skyrocket its value, especially if you've got one of those rare error pennies. So there you have it. The 2020 D Lincoln penny might just be sitting in your pocket or buried in a jar of loose change right now, and it could be worth a serious amount of cash. But remember, this doesn't mean every 2020 D penny is a millionaire maker. The ones with the minting errors and in great condition are the ones worth searching for. And hey, who knows? Maybe your next penny picking adventure will land you with a coin worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, and you're ready to start hunting for your own rare coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and fun coin facts so you can become a pro at spotting valuable coins. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this with your friends, because, let's face it, who wouldn't want to learn how to turn pennies into piles of cash? Catch you in the next one. If you loved this video, subscribe for more tips on how to find coins worth money, strategies for building your collection, and a whole lot more. Let's make sure you're not missing out on the next big coin discovery. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Do you have a 1992 D Lincoln penny stashed away somewhere? You might want to sit down because today we're talking about why this seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yup, you heard me right, million. Now, before you run off to check your penny jar, let's break down what makes this little copper treasure so valuable and how you can spot one that's worth the big bucks. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? But trust me, in the world of rare coins, even the most unassuming pennies can pack a punch. I remember the first time I stumbled upon a rare penny. It was just sitting there in my grandma's old coin box, gathering dust. I thought, hey, this thing looks old, maybe it'll be worth something someday. Little did I know, that penny was worth more than my entire lunch budget for the week. So, let's dive into the real story of the 1992 D penny. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to spot one of these rare coins in your own collection and maybe even make a fortune. Okay, let's break this down. Why is this 1992 D penny so special? Well, it's all about something called a die variety. Die varieties are basically like little mistakes that happen during the coin minting process. And as crazy as it sounds, sometimes these little errors make a coin more valuable than you can imagine. So, what happened in 1992? Well, in that year, there was a specific error on the D mint mark that made the coin stand out. The 1992 D penny had a unique feature that caused it to be more sought after by collectors. It was a slight misalignment with the minting die, which caused the D to appear in a slightly different position. That means there's a tiny detail that makes this coin incredibly rare. Now, I know this sounds like a lot of coin nerd talk, but stick with me, this is where the fun part comes in. If you happen to find one of these pennies with that misaligned D, you've got yourself something that could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yes, I said million. And that's not just some wild guess. Coins like these have been sold for top dollar prices at auctions. Just imagine, what if you found one in your pocket change? You could be looking at a serious payday. Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, sure, it's easy to say a coin is worth a fortune, but how do I actually know if mine is one of those rare finds? Well, here's the thing, most 1992 D pennies aren't worth that much. In fact, most of them are just your standard, run-of-the-mill pennies. But if you can find that exact die variety with the misaligned D, you've got something that's incredibly valuable. It's kind of like when you find a needle in a haystack, but hey, that's the thrill of coin hunting, right? You never know what you'll discover. Alright, let's get practical for a second. How can you actually find these rare pennies? First, make sure you check the mint mark. The 1992 D penny with the misaligned mint mark is your target. Look closely at that D, it should be positioned a bit off-center. If yours looks perfect, well, it's still a cool coin, but it's not the jackpot. Don't give up, though. There are other rare pennies out there, just keep looking. Now, here's a little bonus tip from me. When you're searching for rare coins, it's always a good idea to check for signs of wear and tear. A coin that's been in circulation for years might be worth less than one that's in mint condition, but those tiny imperfections, like scratches or even the patina of age, can give a rare coin an even bigger boost in value. And hey, I get it, finding a rare coin like this might feel like winning the lottery. But here's the truth, it's all about being persistent. Just last year, I found a couple of pennies that turned out to be worth more than I expected. Nothing close to $1.6 million, but hey, a $100 coin is still a $100 coin, right? So, to sum it all up, if you have a 1992 D Lincoln penny, take a close look at it. If that D is misaligned, you could be holding on to a coin worth up to $1.6 million. Pretty wild, right? And even if it's not, don't forget, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Maybe your next find could be the one that makes you a millionaire. Before you rush off to check your piggy bank, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more tips and tricks to find coins that are worth serious money. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next. Until then, happy hunting, and may your pennies always be worth more than you expect. Hey everyone! Let me ask you something, have you ever just stumbled across a penny, tossed it in your pocket without a second thought, and went on with your day? Yeah, we've all done it. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth more than your entire lunch at a fancy restaurant? I know it sounds crazy, but today we're talking about the 1989 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, one of those overlooked coins that could actually make you a ton of cash. Now, don't start digging through your couch cushions just yet, but trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. I end this video, we're going to break down why the 1989 no-mint Mark penny is such a big deal and how it's currently worth a staggering $1.7 million. Yes, you heard me right. A penny worth more than most people's cars, so, first things first, what makes the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so valuable? It's all about the rarity and the mistake that makes it a collector's dream. You see, most pennies are minted with a mint mark to indicate where they were made, like the famous D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But the 1989 no-mint Mark penny? That's an anomaly. It was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but the mint mark was accidentally left off the coin. And if you know anything about collectors, you know that errors like this are a goldmine, sometimes literally an owl. Let me take you back to a story I always think about when I talk about rare coins. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just casually strolling, checking out some old stuff people were getting rid of. You know, the usual old furniture, outdated TVs, random knickknacks. But then I spotted something, an old jar full of pennies. The seller didn't know anything about the coins, just tossed them in there for a few bucks. So, I picked it up without much thought, thinking, maybe I'll find a wheat penny or two. I got home, went through the jar, and sure enough, I found a few wheat pennies, some old ones. But what really caught my eye was this one, a 1989 penny, no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I did a quick search online, and sure enough, that coin was worth way more than I'd ever expected. That's what's so cool about this 1989 no mint mark penny, it's not just a coin, it's a reminder that treasures are often right under our noses. And if you've got one of these in your collection, you're looking at an impressive value of $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard me right, and no, it's not a typo, but hold on, don't just think that all 1989 pennies without a mint mark are worth this kind of money. The condition of the penny matters big time. If you find one of these in great condition, like uncirculated or with minimal wear, that's when you're looking at the big bucks. A well-preserved 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny can bring in a fortune from collectors who are eager to get their hands on this mistake coin, but before you get too excited, there's another catch. You can't just roll up to a coin dealer or throw it on eBay and expect to make millions. The market for these rare pennies can fluctuate based on demand, and a lot of buyers out there are looking for specific characteristics in the coin: condition, rarity, and even the specific year can make a huge difference in value. Now, here's a pro tip for you: if you're ever unsure about whether you have a coin worth a lot of money, get it appraised by a professional or look for reputable coin dealers. The worst thing you can do is sell a rare coin for pennies on the dollar, no pun intended. That if you ever come across a 1989 no mint mark penny in your pocket or stash of change, don't just treat it like any other penny. Do your research, take a close look at its condition, and then maybe get it appraised. You could have a small fortune right there in your hands, alright? So what have we learned today? The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a piece of currency, it's a rare collector's item, worth a cool $1.7 million if you have a perfect one. It's an accidental minting error that turned into a jackpot for anyone lucky enough to stumble upon it. Before we wrap things up, I want to remind you to keep your eyes peeled for coins like this in your change jar, coin collection, or even at garage sales. Who knows, you might get lucky. Just remember, not every 1989 penny is going to make you rich, but it's always worth checking them out to see if you've got one of those hidden gems. And hey, if you've enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to spot valuable coins, subscribe to the channel. I've got a ton more tricks up my sleeve, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. We'll be diving into all kinds of coins, some that are worth a lot of money and some that are just plain fun to look at. Hit that like button if you've learned something new today, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're just as amazed as I was when I found my own 1989 no mint mark penny. Hey, what's up, coin collectors? Have you ever gone through your loose change or dug into your coin jar and wondered, could this penny be worth a fortune? Well, hold on to your seats, because today we're diving into a penny that's worth a whole lot more than a penny's worth. I'm talking about the 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and this little guy could fetch you a whopping $1.8 million. Yep, you heard that right, a penny worth more than most houses. Stick around, because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know about it, and trust me, it's going to be a fun ride. Alright, first things first, why is this penny so valuable? It all comes down to a mistake that happened at the US Mint. You see, in 1986, the Mint produced a series of Lincoln pennies. Most of them have a mint mark, that little letter indicating where they were made. But some of these 1986 pennies didn't get a mint mark. So, when collectors noticed the absence of the mint mark on a batch of coins, they realized something special had happened. Mint marks are essential because they tell us which US Mint produced the coin. A coin without a mint mark is like a mystery box, it's rare and a bit elusive. And in the world of coin collecting, rare equals valuable, but here's the kicker, it's not just any 1986 penny that's worth $1.8 million. No. You need one that's in excellent condition. Think of it like finding a vintage baseball card that's in mint condition. It's worth so much more than the same card that's been used as a bookmark. This particular penny has to be free of wear, with the details still sharp and clear. And now, I'm going to throw in a little personal story for you. A few years ago, I was going through my change jar, kind of like how I always do when I'm trying to find spare change for the parking meter. I didn't expect to find anything special, but then my eyes locked on a penny that seemed to have no mint mark. I remember thinking, that's odd, isn't it supposed to have one? I didn't think much of it at the time, but if I had only known what I was holding, I could have been a millionaire. So, that's the kind of thing you want to look out for when you're checking your pennies. A simple lack of a mint mark can make all the difference, but what makes the 1986 no mint mark penny so valuable isn't just the rarity. There's also the demand. Collectors go crazy for coins with mistakes like this. And let's face it, a coin that slipped through the cracks in 1986 and hasn't been seen in a long time is like finding a treasure that everyone wants to get their hands on. So how can you tell if your penny is worth $1.8 million? Well, there are a few things you'll need to consider. First, it should be a 1986 penny with no mint mark. That's the main thing, but also look at the condition. Is it shiny and new, or does it look like it's been through a few hundred pockets and maybe even a washing machine or two? If it's the latter, you're probably not looking at a $1.8 million coin. But hey, don't toss it, even worn coins can be worth more than face value, just not $1 million. Another tip I've got for you is checking the authenticity of the coin. If you think you've got a rare one, it's always a good idea to get it appraised by a professional coin grader. They'll give you a better idea of its market value and whether you've hit the jackpot or if it's just another penny in your jar. And if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, I don't have time for all of this coin collecting madness. Trust me, I get it. But here's the thing, you don't need to be a professional coin collector to find valuable coins. You just need to know what to look for and where to look. Keep an eye on your change, keep researching, and maybe one day you'll be staring at a coin worth a small fortune. So, let's wrap this up. The 1986 no mint mark penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, and if you happen to find one in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a $1.8 million treasure. Not bad for a coin that started off as just pocket change, right? Before I let you go, here's my call to action. If you found this video helpful, or if you're just excited about the idea of finding a fortune in your spare change, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips on rare coins, valuable pennies, and all sorts of other money-making strategies just waiting for you to discover. Who knows? The next time you check your change jar, it could be the start of your coin collecting fortune.